Scarpins Avenue.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sklar Country, the virus edition, aka the Panty Pots.
AKA no Mirage, we're in my garage.
AKA two dudes, one couch.
AKA two bros, no garden hose.
AKA two Jews, no Harmon Killebrews.
AKA one egg, four legs.
AKA one side, two goats. We are so happy to be here, and we switched it up because what we're trying to do, as we mentioned before in the other episodes, is we're trying to double up.
This is what okay, so this is life in the quarantine.
Yeah.
My
Life
wife
in the quarantine.
My wife is a
your
therapist. She works and does therapy from her office on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And so on those days, I'm watching my kids. I'm at home. I can't leave my kids at home. So Randy and I were going on Tuesdays. We were going every day, actually, later in the day to do our podcast.
On Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we go later in the day. On Tuesday and Thursday, we can record earlier in the day because Jay can do it. But on Thursday, we also record with Dan Van Kirk on Dumb People Time. We're trying to schedule it out.
Dan's been gone, and next week Randy's going to be gone. So we're kind of doing Dumb People Town later today, which we're very excited to have some great episodes in the pipeline, great comics coming on. We're super stoked about that.
But I'm sure you want us to hear more of the logistics of how we're
But
getting
that's
this stuff
the
to you.
reason why we're in my garage on a couch that's set up in my garage.
Well, listen, we're happy that we're here and we want to get into stories with you right away. So let's jump into one while we're here, okay?
Okay.
Now, we try to keep sports stories out of this because we do View from the Cheap Seats, which is our Friday sports podcast. Our music episode, our mid-year music episode is going to come, I think, either this week or next week.
That's correct.
Not sure, either this Friday or either tomorrow or next Friday. So we always do it around 4th of July.
And this, in middle of the year, our music episode is songs we have discovered this year. But
that didn't come from this year.
Come from a
so it
different
could be
year.
2019, could be 1978. It doesn't matter. And we've got great ones, and it's us and Matt Price and Jonah Ray, who does the fantastic Jonah Radio podcast, and our friend DJ, Mr. J Logic. So great. Great stuff. Love it. So we try to keep sports out of it, but here's a story that is a sports story that I think is well known in the sports world. We talked about it on the other podcast, but the fallout from it, again, stupidity coming to the forefront. So let's get into it. We need to give you a little background on this one if you don't know what it is. Okay, so it's a NASCAR thing. I don't know if you've heard about this, so let's just explain the story as best as we can. So NASCAR has only one black driver. His name is Bubba Wallace. Really smart, great dude, good driver, and loved on the circuit.
Definitely.
Okay? Definitely loved on the circuit, but NASCAR is not typically a sport. There aren't a lot of black fans. There are not a lot of black drivers in the history of the sport.
Right. It's typically been a Southern white sport.
Right.
That's now look, that doesn't mean there aren't NASCAR fans in the north and out west. And
Sure. And Vegas
plenty.
Nevada has a bunch. And as people have dispersed around this country,
It's become more popular through the years, but it certainly hasn't gained an equivalent amount of black
multicultural
followers.
But neither is hockey, and I would argue neither is golf. So a lot of sports, not just NASCAR, has a lot of stuff to do to sort of, and has a lot of room to grow in terms of getting
They do.
new fans. And so maybe this is a way to do it. I don't know. But Bubba Wallace, who's the only, again, if you were to line up all the drivers, he's the only black driver. He, in this moment, in this time when there is sort of an outcry against racial injustice in the way that we are policed, in Confederate monuments, and specifically the Confederate flag, which is flown all the time at NASCAR events, he requested it. He demanded
That
he
they
said
take it down.
That they take it down. And with his full voice as a driver and a participant, that they
He's like, I'm a professional in this league. The Confederate flag bothers me. I want it taken down.
and if there's something I was doing that bothered somebody else and they asked me to stop doing it, I would stop doing it. So he asked that it be taken down for sensitivity purposes, and NASCAR actually obliged, which in
they
keeping
complied,
with the times,
which was very fantastic.
now, that doesn't mean that somebody didn't pay for the Confederate flag to be flown over an event recently, which they did, or people out in the parking lot just flying Old Glory left and right
because they feel like I'm not going to let this guy tell me how I'm going to live my
They
life.
may take it away inside the track, but outside the track, this is our land, and we can do whatever we want, whatever we believe in. Okay, so that's the backdrop.
So he's definitely
you have
like
a fan base
stirred
that's pissed.
He stirred the pot. He's the pot stirrer. Then,
And by the way, he's the only one who's ever asked for it to go and made this big of a statement in this moment as it is right now. And you know the moment we're living in. Then Talladega comes, and I don't know if you ever saw Talladega Nights, but it's one of the biggest races and one of the biggest of the year.
Right.
It's like Daytona, in my opinion. Talladega is like that. The Detroit Brickyard. These are all great NASCAR events.
races.
Okay, so Talladega comes, and Bubba Wallace is in garage number 4 out of God knows how many, 40 garages. I don't know. I don't know how many people are. This tells you that how little I know. I don't know how many drivers are there, but in his garage there is hanging a noose, which, again, no one has access to it except for his team and I guess internal people. But there's a noose hanging there now,
And they know who's going to be occupied. It's not random. It's not like they say, drivers, choose your garage.
Right,
And they all
and
run
he ran
to the nearest garage.
And he ran to the nearest garage.
That's
That
not
would have
how it
been the
happened.
most random. He was selected for garage number 4, and that's what happened. So the FBI came in and investigated, and they sent 15 FBI agents, which seemed like a lot, but they investigated, and over the course of a weekend, they figured out that this noose was in that garage since October of 2019. No one specifically put it in there right now. And Bubba Wallace, in a statement, said, "I'm happy I wasn't targeted."
Right.
But on some level, if you understand everything, and you know that that noose was in there, and they're saying it was just a garage pull to pull up like a loop to pull up the garage door, which, by the way, is a terrible. You pull on it and it pulls up the garage door, which is terrible. A noose would tighten around your hand and break your hand if you pulled it down. It's awful.
It's not a good idea.
There's no reason to put it in there. But if you knew that Bubba Wallace was going in that one, and don't tell me people don't know the garages and what they look like and all that stuff. If you knew that, wouldn't you take that out of there? Wouldn't you be like, hey, this is going to look bad even though it has nothing to do with him? Why would we even bring this upon us amidst everything that's going on?
Right. Why would we come off like, why would we even put it into the ether that this could have been?
By the way, I believe the FBI. I'm a person who believes the FBI. Yeah. I'm a person who believes the CIA. I believe when they report something, it's credible. Okay? That's where I stand on it. I don't like to discredit those places. Yeah. I'm just saying there's enough in this that makes me think that the FBI is not telling the truth. Yeah. Like, I'm just like, why am I left with more questions than answers in this instance? Okay.
Right.
So we have to
100%.
So we have to lay that out there because that's the context
within which this
story
comes forward,
takes place. Okay. So Wallace is exhausted. By the way, he doesn't want to be an activist. He just wants to be a NASCAR driver. But he did feel like, hey, I got to speak out about this, and this is something I got to talk about. And by the way, I'm going to give credit to the NASCAR drivers. You know what they did after the noose was found while they were still investigating it? All 43 drivers, I think it was 43 or something like that, walked his car together in a show of solidarity, walked it up to the starting line. It was a
small step, beautiful moment. Definitely, I think
these are basically saying we stand with you, bro. You're
one of us. Then you're going to be a fan and a supporter of this guy.
Richard Petty, who is the king of NASCAR. I mean, this guy is the king of NASCAR. Okay, he's the best. He's Wayne Gretzky. He's Michael Jordan. He in for NASCAR. He came over to Bubba, gave him a hug. He was wearing a mask too. Great. Came over, gave him a hug, and showed his solidarity to him, and made a statement that said, I don't believe in this. I'm not into this. Let's stop doing this to this guy. And I agree with him. So it was a great step. And you thought, okay, maybe there's progress being made. Mm-hmm. And then you just knew that the periphery the stars and bars waving folks in the parking lot were going to come up and have their say in this whatsoever. And so on the heels of the whole news thing, which again, I don't think this is cut and dry. You can dismiss, as the FBI said. Okay. Mm-hmm. At any rate, this story, Pine Hall, North Carolina, the owner of a North Carolina racetrack. This is another racetrack. Said he faced death threats, lost employees, and seen, quote, all but 2 of his sponsors evaporate amid the backlash over his social media post invoking the noose found in the garage of black NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace. So the owner of a racetrack in North Carolina used a noose in a social media post.
And now he's paying the price.
Yeah. He really, for lack of a better term, he hung himself with his own rope here.
Yeah.
Mike Fulp, who owns the half-mile dirt track 311 Speedway in Stokes County, told the News and Record that he knew his troubles from what he described as a joke were self-inflicted. First of all, your track is named after one of the 90s least well-surviving or bands that hold up today, 311.
311. Could have called it the Len Motor Speedway.
How about the Chubbawamba track? There you go. Where you get knocked down, but you get up again. That's how it works.
Of course, it was a dirt track, dirty and unfinished and backwards.
Yep.
That's that's the tenor of what's
Phelps
going on.
Post advertised, quote, Bubba rope for sale on Facebook Marketplace the day after the FBI investigation determined that the news found it Talladega's.
So the
Speedway
FBI
garage.
determines there's no connection. This was
hate crime.
and this
So then
guy
he was like,
decides,
okay, now
let
I
me
can
draw
make
the connection,
or
and
let me make a joke.
Let me make a bad joke.
So like as soon as the FBI let it off, this is why.
To me, this leads me to believe that somebody, this isn't a systemic thing, but somebody directed that towards him.
So let me explain this so you guys know. Picture of the noose that was in the garage, and he wrote on his Facebook post, Bubba rope for sale, meaning, I guess, rope that you can hang Bubba Wallace with. Again, apparently that was a joke. Again,
it's not a good joke.
Didn't look to the guy. I don't look to the guy who owns a half-mile dirt racetrack in North Carolina to be making
his
jokes,
yeah,
for his comedy.
As we said before, his jokes are gonna be like his track. Dirty and unfinished.
That's right. Dirty and that's absolutely right.
That's what his jokes are going to be.
He said, I've lost all but 2 of my sponsors, Fulp told the newspaper.
Oh, boo-hoo. Poor you.
I want to know which 2 stayed on.
Yeah.
So definitely a cigarette company and like an anti-abortion,
Golden Corral.
That's right. Exactly.
All right. So
the Knights of the Golden Circle,
One
maybe.
American News Network. I don't know.
I'm responsible, quote, I'm responsible for trying to make some jokes. Some jokes, again, now it's like you don't even know how many jokes you made.
Just one joke, and it was terrible, and it failed, and it wasn't a great joke.
I think you're making it worse by declaring what you tried to do was tell some jokes.
And it also looks like you don't know how to count. You told one joke.
Yeah, exactly. That you think one is some is, to me, a cause for concern about who this guy is.
He's an idiot. And the fact that he would tell the New York Post, this is it. Like, if did the New York Post report on this?
No.
I feel like if the New York Post would have reported, they would have called it Mea Fulpa.
Yep.
That would have been the headline.
By the way, and who says you're responsible for anything?
You're barely responsible for anything. You have a dirt track.
That's right.
You're not a responsible. You've never been a responsible person in your life.
Phelps said he's been getting death threats and received messages threatening his family. Wait, you mean people were saying that they were going to hang you? Maybe
with a Bubba rope?
I don't know.
I can't tell. That would be some serious.
That would be some ironies.
That would be some threats.
More than one irony right there. That would be a bunch of different ironies. That's the funny thing there. Quote, my employees got harassed. He said, I had 7 employees quit. I don't think they quit.
I bet they didn't quit, and I bet that they didn't get harassed. There's no way to check claims like this. That's my thing, and it's
called
about it on
playing a victim with zero proof. Like you screwed up, so now you have to seem like there's a backlash, so that
and
people
you have to
get
make the
side.
backlash against you seem more violent than your screw up.
Your initial
so
transition.
that you can draw sympathy for yourself. That's all these people are doing. They're like, let me see if I can make it seem like the backlash is so destructive and terrifying that you can only feel sorry for me and forget about what I did.
So the Greensboro newspaper reported Fulp canceled a, quote, Stand for America event that planned for Saturday for safety reasons, but plans to reopen 311 Speedway perhaps as soon as next Saturday and follow the state's coronavirus guideline. I'm guessing that the Stand for America event will have a bunch of Confederate flags in it, right? Because it's a non-NASCAR sponsored event.
What safety reasons?
Yeah, they're not COVID-19.
They don't want to say
There's
COVID-19.
no way in hell they're being respectful of social distancing guidelines or gathering large groups
Not
together.
Stand for America.
They won't stand for that. This is Stand for America, not stand for the autonomous zone in Seattle.
See? Look at this. This shit writes itself. We're writing jokes. These are real jokes. What you're doing wasn't a joke.
He said he wants low-profile racing and he plans to stay off social media. Wait, no. More jokes about the only black NASCAR driver. How come? Where are we going to get those?
Don't Fulp it up. Don't you Fulp this up, Fulp.
We need you on social media commenting on everything that's happening. How about on the latest Supreme Court decision that goes against abortion? Fulp, I wanted to hear
get off
you.
the social media. We need your opinions.
Fulp said he's not a racist, which the newspaper reported also that he broke down in tears and sobbed. Yeah, I'm sure he was like, put that in the article.
Yeah, make sure you let him know
That'll make it seem better.
Make sure you let them know 7 people
How
quit.
about, Fulp, you write an apology to Bubba Wallace, write an open letter to the Greensboro newspaper.
Yeah.
And this is what you say, okay, that you will donate a portion of your track earnings to Black Lives Matter causes. We don't have to know how much it is. It could be $100.
Yeah.
But just say you'll donate a portion of those things to those causes, and you'll start a program to encourage more black drivers on the amateur level, like at your half-mile dirt racetrack. If you write that open letter to Bubba Wallace, and then you break down and cry. Then I'm
now
like,
we're
okay,
willing to
now
accept your
you
tears.
see that you've changed and you have the possibility to change, and we're also saying that you do have the possibility to change, and we're hoping that you go
How
down this
great
road.
of a story would that be if this guy went all
To
the way
me, if
there?
that happened, that would be an E60 story. That would be a real sports story. He would receive an outpouring from so many people. You might have people investing in your track, having to do that. You might make a partnership with black businesses in town. Look at what we're telling you to do.
It's that easy.
How great would that story be? You could win an ESPY for that. Definitely would bring positivity to your dirt racetrack, which it didn't have before.
I mean, this guy is putting the race in racist.
Well, yeah.
But
the best decisions in life, and we'll say this about the on this podcast, we believe this, are not always the easiest.
No.
They're the hardest ones, but they're the most rewarding if you follow through with them.
So as great as the outcome would be if you were to do this, that is how much I don't think he's going to do this.
That's a great point. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, more show. We've got a little 4th of July.
As we roll into 4th of July weekend.
Relish it with your families. We'll get into it on the other side of this break. This is Sklar Country, the Virus Edition. Stay with us.
Hey guys, want to talk to you about something important, which is your mental health. We know that these times are trying. They are testing our anxiety, our regular baseline anxiety, and taking them to higher levels. We're putting the world's anxiety on our backs. And that is why we are so grateful for our sponsor, Talkspace. It is a chance for you to connect with licensed therapists from your own home in a safe way. These guys are fully committed to making sure that you guys are getting the mental health support that you need.
They do a great job. Talkspace.
Yes. Mental Health Awareness Month was last
but
month,
you should be aware of it at all times,
Yeah,
especially now during these times.
But these guys, especially understanding what's going on with the pandemic and understanding quarantine and understanding the confusion we're all in, they are now more than ever more committed to making sure that people get the mental
they'll match you up
health
with
support.
a licensed therapist that can, and they have great areas of expertise like relationship stuff, anxiety.
And you can send them text, audio, picture, video messages from your phone 24/7 as much as you need to. Everything happens within Talkspace's secure platform. The most important thing about this is that as soon as you get matched up with somebody,
Same day. You can
Same
start
day.
up same day. So it's really wonderful in that way.
So this crisis in a major way has reminded us how important it is, how vulnerable we all are.
And we want to help you out right here. So here's what we're offering right now.
You deserve this. You deserve this. And we want to help you. As a listener of this podcast, you can get $100 off your first month of Talkspace. To match you with your perfect therapist, go to Talkspace.com. Download the app. Make sure you use the code Sklar to get your $100 off the first month. That also lets them know that we sent you there, and it sure shows your support for the show. That's Sklar at Talkspace.com. Get the help you need. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Hey, Sunday night. We're just going to say it. Sunday
Tournament
night.
of Laughs.
Tournament of Laughs.
Round 2. We may be in it. If we are in it, I think we are. I think we can mention that we're in it. We're in it. We're in it. We're in round 2. We made it past the first round, and I love our round 2 bit. Please vote. Go to tournamentoflaughs.com. Vote. If you open up a private window on your computer, you can just vote over and over again. This is like a Philippines election.
Look at
Vote
this.
early, vote often.
But here's the deal. We say, please vote. It starts 7:30. The voting starts 7:30 Sunday night, 7:30 Pacific time, 10:30 East Coast time, and then it rolls till the next morning for 12 hours. That's the only time. Vote in that window. Vote as much as you want.
We have the next 2 bits that we have planned. We already shot the 3rd one, and we love it. And our idea for the 4th one is a reconfiguring of an old classic bit of ours. So we really want to continue on, and through your help, we can do this. All right, shall we go here?
Yes, I love it.
Well, we're approaching the 4th of July weekend. I don't know if you have any plans, but I hope everyone gets to see fireworks. Just make sure you're spending it with your family. Yeah, I think most people realize that this 4th of July is going to be different than others. It's a time to take stock in, okay, where can this country go? We know how bad things have gotten, and you know how bad the leadership is at the top and how they're mishandling things like Corona and the economy and the racial injustice that's happening in this, and listening to the streets and what's going on. But where can we go? And maybe this is a time to think about that stuff right now and just be safe.
Yes.
It's going to be a quieter
This will be a
4th of
different
July.
4th of July weekend, yes.
I think everyone is kind of like resigned to that fact, and we're all like, it's going to be okay. We're going to be okay.
Right. And by everyone, we mean everyone who is not in Texas nor Florida.
Yeah. Speaking of, Rockwall, Texas City. Their city council.
Rockwall City, Texas.
Excuse me. Rockwall City, Texas. City council members decided to vote to continue with their pre-4th of July, I guess it's on Friday night,
Outdoor
concert series, despite one council member bringing up the fact that COVID cases in North Texas have spiked recently. And by spiked, I mean gone way up.
Boo.
Yeah,
Oh,
boo.
you're a wet blanket,
Why
buddy.
Why is this guy...
Why is she
I think it's
trying
a
to rain
woman.
on our-
Why is she trying to...
Why is she trying to dump on our concert series?
Yeah, she's un-American.
Why does she hate music?
You hate music.
You hate fun?
Yeah.
Who are you, the preacher from the movie Footloose?
Yeah, come on. All we want to do is go dancing. Well, the rest of them said, "Science be damned. We want to have the concert series." Like, by the way, who do you think is performing? Who's performing at this concert series? All right,
Let's rephrase that.
Who
What time does Kid Rock go on?
That's right. Who besides Kid Rock is going on in Toby Keith? Besides Toby Keith and Kid Rock,
Ain't no Corona going to keep Toby Keith down. I'll tell you that much.
besides the Florida-Georgia line, who is performing? Besides, what are the something Rascal Flats? Who's performing at this?
Steven Seagal, I'm sure.
Seagal could perform
With
either
his blues band.
or just him doing in front of thousands of people doing a karate exhibition.
Isn't like
Where people
I'm
come
imagining
at him
this
slowly
wrong.
and he
Is
rolls them
everyone in Steven Seagal's blues band, are they all like
In jail?
honorary cops?
And they're all in James Nolan's blues band as well.
I think the name of the band is called Ride Along.
The best part about this whole thing is the quote from the mayor of Rockwall City. Rockwall City. There are great quotes. The mayor, and then there's another council member who is just fantastic.
Dishing out the quotes.
By the way, Rockwall City to me sounds like it should be like Trump's favorite border town.
Right.
They built a wall out of rocks. They made the name of Rockwall City. And then so they're making a rock wall out of their name.
They made a wall out of loose rocks.
Yeah.
So that was their mistake. It's very easy to knock
Just to
down.
push it down. A baby could knock it over, really. Wolves along the Mexican border are
But
just
they
walking
did make
right
a
through
wall.
it.
They did make a wall. Mayor Jim Pruitt.
Mayor Jim Pruitt, which to me, wasn't there a Pruitt guy who was part of who was like, had those ethics problems where he was like paying for trips. He was in the Trump cabinet or something like that.
yes.
I don't think this is this guy, but it could be. Mayor Jim Pruitt said individuals should be allowed to make their own decisions on whether they want to wear a mask and socialize outdoors. Yeah. Don't give them any guidelines there. Don't tell them what to do, buddy. You're only the mayor. You know what I mean? Leave it up to the dummies that elected you to socially distance themselves and be socially conscious. An outdoor 4th of July concert, I feel like most people make great decisions at those. No one's going to get drunk and pass out there.
It's a good time.
No one's going to try and hit their spouse there.
Nope.
Pruitt's quote was this. The whole idea, listen to this quote, and this tells you, when you think about Cuomo's, his press conferences in New York and how much he is trying to stop in its tracks coronavirus and do everything he can. If it were up to him, which is the reason why he doesn't sleep at night, he would eliminate every case from the state of New York.
Yes.
Listen to how the attitude in
opposite.
Texas, okay? Listen to this. Quote, okay? This whole idea wasn't to prevent people from getting the virus. It was to slow it down so hospitals wouldn't be overwhelmed. Oh, this is just about hospitals being overwhelmed.
So you want some people to get it, but you just want to be able to handle it when it comes up.
Hospitals being overwhelmed, yes, we don't want that.
Hospital being overwhelmed is like the last stand. Like that's the worst case scenario.
We don't want to get water on the tablecloths in the dining area of the Titanic.
At least this guy's honest. I mean, he's not even hiding who he is.
We aren't stopping shit. That's essentially what they're saying.
Why do you even care about hospitals?
If you're cool with letting the virus hang around, why does that even matter to you?
Maybe that's what you're lying about. That you
this
care
is
at
my
all.
favorite. Councilmember Trace Johannesson, said that he's opposed to canceling the outdoor concert because there is little to no evidence that the virus is transmitted outdoors. There's lots of evidence. Yeah. You're just not listening
choosing
to any
to
of the
say
evidence.
that. You're just choosing to say that.
And what evidence does Trace Johannesson have? Little to none.
Or I would say not even a trace.
Not even a trace. Great call, bro. Again, Extended spring break for all these people. Send them down to the island. No hospitals. You guys get drunk. Have all the 4th of July concerts.
Hotspot Island has to happen. I love that idea.
Indoor concerts, political rallies, no hospitals to overwhelm.
No masks in the Trader Joe's down this
Just
thing.
rub up against everybody.
Hotspot Island.
It can't be transmitted outdoors. Johannesson said so.
He said it.
You know what else he said, Jay? I'm getting a little tired of the government telling us what we can and can't do and living in fear. Do they really think we're going to stop the virus? We aren't.
What?
So what?
No,
you got to try and stop it.
We have to try.
So your solution is to have an outdoor concert because we can't stop the virus?
Your solution
is to make it worse.
Let me make a sports analogy. You're basically saying, let's not play defense.
Let's not put...
There's no way we're going to win this game.
Guys, we're losing by 15 points here. The virus has got us pinned back in our own thing. Let's not send the defense on the field and really shake things up.
Yeah, see what happens.
Instead of sending the defense on the field, let's send Trace Atkins.
Or Trace Johansson.
Great call. That's council member level thinking right there. Council members to me are a notch below town drunks.
Yes.
At least the town drunk doesn't expect anyone to take him seriously.
Or doesn't affect policy.
Right. And he knows that he's just speaking gibberish. A council member thinks that they're sent from God.
And that they're important.
This then came the best quote of all. And this may be the quote of the whole day and the quote of everything. I'm from Johannesson, okay? His best quote of all. I trust our citizens not to sneeze on each other or put their fingers in each other's mouths. Is that the way he thinks this thing is getting transmitted? Because people are sticking fingers in each other's mouths?
If we just stop sucking on each other's fingers, America,
guys,
we would have this thing licked. And by licked, I mean don't lick someone else's
Don't lick your fingers. People most definitely are not sticking their fingers in each other's mouth. That's not happening.
Nor are they sneezing on each other.
I have been to many outdoor concerts in my day, and I've been to many of them with you.
I've never seen...
Nobody stick a finger in someone's mouth when they liked the band. We've been to Bumbershoot. That's an outdoor music festival. I not once at any concert, small stage,
been to Grateful Dead shows where it feels like a community.
You could want to stick a thing in.
I've never seen it.
Not even close to suck on my finger. Okay?
Suck on this.
By the way, the Eagles cover band that you're going to get to play at this stupid festival is not worth watching if there was even if there wasn't a pandemic.
So here's my question. If there is an Eagles cover band and all the guys don't have hair, the bald Eagles.
That's the bald Eagles. Dude, they're
a
cover band of all. Sound good. All of them are losing their hair. The bald Eagles. You don't want to see 2/3 of Kansas labor their way through Carry On My Wayward Son. Okay. Right. I mean, 2/5 of the band Kansas.
No.
3/5 of that band are already dust in the wind.
And in fact, dust in the wind is the kind of thing, if the dust is infected, that could spread the virus.
Could spread rivulets and droplets
dust
throughout the whole thing. That's how it works. That's
right.
Not to tell you your job, Johannesson, but that's how it is.
So happy 4th of July, Rockwall City.
You dummies.
Rockwall City?
Rockwall City.
You should have put more than just rocks. Loose rocks.
Guess what they're not going to rock at that concert? They're not going to rock well.
No.
So there you go. All right, that's the show, guys.
There you go.
Good luck this weekend. Stay connected.
I think we have one more show tomorrow.
One more show tomorrow, but we just want everybody, as you're prepping for it, stay connected. Punch a water faucet. Wash those hands. Stay protected. Don't get infected. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.
La-ti-da, la-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da, la-ti-da-da.